Hello. Good morning, good afternoon. Make sure we have enough imbues. Yep, helmet 4 hours. So we had a charm pray to reroll. Okay, let's hope for Nagas. A Naga Archer or Makara. Let's go. Nope. Feral Sphinx is good though, because I want to do those on Bestiary. I'll save this one. I'll definitely use that one tomorrow or so. And here we've got Makara and Naga Warrior anyway. Rolled Naga Warrior this morning, so that's cool. All right. Go. Hey, Sheriff. Look at this. Full stamina gaming. What a casual. I've had full stamina for about 4 hours. Oh. Lost 40 minutes of hunting, I know. I wanted to grab midday until 3 p.m. Polish time today, so like 5 hours ago until 2 hours ago, a 3-hour slot. But somebody beat me to it. I was surprised because I was pretty quick on the booking at SS. EXP waste, I know. You can still do Nagas with 0 supply. I don't know. Why don't you stay and watch and find out for yourself? Hey, hello, Gaines. All right, last day of freedom today, by the way, or I should say, last day of sadness of missing my family because they're back tomorrow. So that's great. All right, I do not want to roll over this prey, so I'm setting an alarm. But hang on a minute, I'm about to die here. Let me stick this on. Go away. 1 hour 50 alarm. So I roll this over. I don't trust myself. As we've all seen, I cannot keep track of this. As we've seen by the numerous color of orange plasma running out. 1 hour 50. Yeah, whatever. 1 hour 50. Timer set. Boost purchased. Equipment equipped. Bullseye potion, bullseyed, ring, amulet, reset analyzer, let's go. State mandated 3-hour stamina, pretty much how it feels, to be honest. That's exactly how it feels. Today, Path of Exile servers were really good. Actually, I haven't had any issues, so I had to kind of force myself to go off and burn that stamina. And I was like that, yes, honey meme. It's a honey meme. It's like, time to burn your 3 hours of green stamina. Yes, honey. You know, oh well. We don't have the damage prey today on the Naga Warrior, so there can be absolutely no claims that a 0 supply hunt is due to the damage prey. assuming that we succeed today. It's pure charms only. Charms and equipment and imbues only. Bullseye, did I say bullseye? I'm in transcendence. Did a quick hour on Lizard Chosens today, and I really can't tell what it is, but I'm never close to your numbers. I mean, the Lizard Chosens, I'm pretty sure we've had like 3 nerfs since I recorded Lizard Chosens. I don't think it should have been like a massive difference, but yeah, I mean, we are definitely a little bit weaker than since I recorded it. Okay, well, if you're hitting 1.1 and I was hitting 1.5, then that is a skill issue, because if you're hitting, you know, 1.3, 1.4, you know, maybe I could attribute that to the nerfs, but nah. At least I'm making bonk loot. Yeah. It's funny being able to XP so much and make ridiculous loot while you're at it. This is my favorite. This is my least favorite pool, by the way. I really don't like this one. This one's like really quite awkward. I wish I didn't have to do this one. But it is part of the best lap, so whatever. Regular mouse and weaving autos while kiting us out. Oh dear. Oh dear. A regular mouse. Oh. 2002 called it wants its mouse back. I remember having to clean the damn wheel under the mouse, the ball under the mouse. It was so disgusting. It used to get so horrible. Two side buttons. Oof. Big oof. Big oof. Perfect for a paladin. Don't know what you're doing playing monk. You have more than enough buttons to play paladin. You'd probably still have one of those side buttons free if you were playing a paladin. Yeah, I struggle with those Tiger, to be honest. I still don't really have them, which is because I'm always so worried I'm going to misclick them, you know? It would be so horrible to just misclick like, you know, a cupcake. So I just have just NPC food, HP, and mana on hotkeys, which is fine. That's usually enough. You know, I have relatively low health and mana pool. That 3k from those is usually enough. But I should also have the cupcake somehow mapped, but I don't like it. I think EDEK duo could define here. Yeah, I think this is a solid solid duo spot, to be honest. What XP? It's going to depend on your level. I think a solid duo can push 5kk raw or more here, probably. Around like level 400-ish. Maybe. 250, okay. 250? No, probably not. Probably not 250. I think at 250 you get blown up. Maybe like 300, maybe. There's a few equipment pieces that you get to level 300, like Falcon stuff, that might help. I don't know. Maybe it's possible at 250, but you'd have to really know what you're doing, I think. Pot of blackjack. Yeah, I even have pot of blackjack as well. I guess I'll maybe I will hotkey that, because even if I pop it by accident, it doesn't matter, right? And it's good practice to have it. Yeah. Okay. I'll try to put it on. Put it on as a hotkey later. Free trip to your temple. That's probably what would happen at 250 indeed. At 250, you're probably still on the Spectre life. Sorry, it's probably picking up my text message, isn't it? I'm sorry, it's gonna stop soon. My wife is just sending me some photos. $483. I guess we're hitting 485 or so today. Yeah, probably 485. I don't think we'll hit as much as 486. Yeah, it's kind of stupid, but I have health and mana on H and M to, like, very easily remember them mentally. So I have like just H button is my NPC health food and M is the NPC mana food. But then control H, I have something. I think charms is control H, isn't it? So I can't put that on. Maybe shift H. Because if it was shift H, if it was control H, I would be like misclicking all the time. Oh. Sorry, we're doing Nagas 2 days in a row, by the way. Generally speaking, I try to avoid hunting the same place 2 days in a row. But yeah, just not been playing much Tibia. I've got the charms, I've got the prey even ready, so nice and easy to get a little bit of experience in a single refill. Tomorrow, I promise we'll go somewhere else. We'll be back to Azalon jail to finish up the bestiary there, probably. Shift 8. But far away. Yeah, yeah, definitely want it fairly far away. But I don't know. I'll have to think about it. I do need to have another food on because you know the the NPC food and the cupcakes don't share a cooldown, right? So you could, so it's, I should have both of them on hotkey for like those true emergencies, right? Do the different cupcakes share cooldowns, by the way? Can I pop a HP and mana cupcake like back to back, or do they share an internal 10-minute cooldown? Not sure I ever tested that. Cupcake share, okay. Gin food. What is gin food? Like blessed steak and like the and the pot of blackjack, right? And how does the NPC food come into play with that? Could I go NPC health food, followed by strawberry cupcake for health, followed by pot of blackjack? Could I go all three in like 2 seconds if needed? If so, then, you know, it's nearly August. I'm gonna... Is the same song again? Is it? That is something, I have noticed this, that Spotify, you know, technically it has its shuffle, whatever, but its shuffle is real funky. You know, this playlist that I have has like 10,000 songs, apparently. And I swear to God, I hear like the same 20 songs every stream. I think Spotify optimizes for like how little royalties they have to pay to the song producers. And they play those songs more often. I think it's something like that because it's bullshit. It's not actual like randomized shuffle for sure. Bro, you got any charming tips for a night 240? Yeah, whatever Tigers shared is kind of a starting point. I mean, I made that years ago at this point, but I think it's still going to be pretty relevant. I mean, it feels like, you know, all the new monsters which get added to the game are all like in just one place. So there's no point like adding those to the charm guide because there's only one place to do them anyway. So that tool I made there is probably going to stay relevant for a long time just because it's not like old monsters get added in new spots in the game, or rarely at least, and not like new monsters get added to a few spawns either where it's best to do them in a certain spot. They only get added to like one spot and that's it. So when it was random, people complained that it wasn't random, so they made it totally not random. It's definitely not random now. Because I keep getting the same damn song in a playlist of like 10,000 songs, which, you know, totally impossible. When Bursters with EKED Monk and MS was really easy. Yep, indeed. Bursters are amazing at that level, and the Monk really slapped them at that level as well with his Eye of Enlightenment, I guess, the level 100 Earth weapon. Although Drachiku would have been fine as well. You think I could go Were Tigers at 240? No. I think if you're gonna go Were Tigers, the absolute earliest I would recommend it is 250 with the Cobra BO. You really want to have the Cobra BO. Maybe you could go Were Tigers -1 with the Bumpus Joe. Maybe. But honestly, at that point, I feel like it's just not really worth it. It's not going to be a good enough spawn to do. I would wait until 250, grab the Cobra BO, and hit up Were Tigers -2. Got 150 now to grind to 200. Grim Reapers, baby. Grim Reapers until 250, bro. It's gonna be beautiful. I quite enjoyed that level range, actually. That was probably one of the nicest level ranges. Like 250 to 400 was nice. 400 to start with is really nice as well, because you open up so many new spots with the Soul Mass. But by like 450 plus, it starts to become a bit slow, at least for me. The levels start trickling in instead of pouring in. Definitely way slower progress now. The 98 fist fighting, very nice. What level are you now, Tiger? Are you just like, how are you skilling, by the way? Is it on like a black sheep or something? Or are you doing like modified Nullhound with an imbue already? And try and get 3kk roll for my video, but only doing 2.1. Okay. Well, 2.1 is pretty low on Grim Reapers, even at 150, I would say. But you know, keep at it. I'm sure with a bit more practice, you'll get there. And thank you once more for all the EK content. You helped me a lot for years. Cool. Happy to hear that. Thanks for stopping by. Sorry I haven't done much solo EK content in years, I guess, at this point. Maybe we'll get back into it at some point. Although my main EK has been sold now. Maybe we'll do another one at some point. A 375 monk in my guild was doing 8kk raw. I guess as part of a team hunt, I'm trying to envision where he could do that solo. I guess with like full animus and triple damage prey, maybe you could swing 8kk raw on like Nagas playing perfectly on a 375, maybe. Hey, Ambition. Oh yeah, I saw your screenshot. I saw your screenshot in the Discord. Yeah, good job, good stuff, dude. I'm glad it's not just me. See, everyone can do it if they put their mind to it. It's really not like that demanding skill-wise, you know. It just you just need to approach it in a certain way, and it's not actually that hard. I think maybe people freak out a bit about these hunts because people just don't try it and they don't realize it's not actually that difficult, and it may well be possible on other vocations easier than people think, maybe. What I'm saying is, buff monk. Mad sheep simp, you are, Tiger. Okay. And does it work fine with the monk? How do you hit the mad sheep? Just unfisted base fist, Because people ask me sometimes like how to skill on like a low level monk, and honestly I don't know because I'm tried. Is it just literally just fist on like a level 10 or something? Is that it? I love some EK content. Follow you on YouTube a lot. Yeah, I mean, don't have an EK now, but I think we'll probably get back to that at some point. Learned how to properly auto attack with my mouse, thanks to the VODs. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Definitely don't sell your monk now that you finally learned to optimize it. Yeah, there's no 1k monk yet, right? It's insane. There's like people almost 3k level of other vocations, and the monk isn't even 1k. How bad? How bad is the monk class? 0 attack weapon? What's a 0 attack weapon? Is there a different way to auto attack with mouse other than right click? Yeah, I think you can do like shift right click in settings. There is a way in settings to change what like your left mouse and right mouse do. I think generally most people play with like targets on right click though. You think that monk will take place from our vocation, or will we mostly focus on solo, duo, trio? Honestly, it's impossible to say right now because currently the monk is not viable enough in high level team hunts, but I don't think they're going to leave it like that. So right now they're not really going to take the spots from anybody long term, but I think Tipsoft wants them to be more viable, so they're probably going to rework it in some way, and at that point I can't really say what. Right now he's not going to take a spot from anybody at a high level. I really don't understand how people can look at that top monk guy hunting dragons. Yeah. I mean that. Yeah. It's not normal gameplay anti, but you can still use it to gauge some information, right? Sure, they have a blocker. Like the only thing that sort of video is not relevant for really is the experience rate. Like you obviously the experience that they do is inflated because they have that blocker and he has like such high level teammates and stuff. But if you can still compare damage done per vocation, and see where the monk lands to deduce how a monk would actually do in a regular team hunt. Like that data is still pretty reliably obtainable from that, I think. And it's not impressive, right? Admittedly, that's a very bad hunt from the monk, but still, it is one of the better hunts, so. Your attack weapon is a high level weapon you can't use. Oh, right. Yes. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, okay, Anti, but it does show that the monk is not going to thrive in team hunts like this. I mean, this is, mostly what people expected, right? If you ask me how the monk's going to do at Dragons before the monk's release, I would say probably not great. So, having that data there, it's still useful because you can deduce based on that how other team hunts of that type are going to work. And yeah, I agree, it's a bad hunt for the monk. And I said this before, I think, in one of my streams that, I think what it's going to come down to is you will only really hunt with the monk places where the monk shines, because otherwise there's not much point, right? I think the monk is probably okay in Library, monk is probably okay in Soul War, probably a little bit worse in Rotten Blood, probably, it's good in like Cobras and stuff. So it all depends on your level range, but it's definitely not good everywhere, and definitely not at a place like Dragons. I think the comfort, I think the healing / comfort of the monk that you're talking about, I don't think that's going to be of much value ever, really. I feel like you can't ever rely on the monk's healing and comfort. It's like you have a strong enough druid to survive with just a druid, or you don't go somewhere, you know? But that means that the monk's value like that is probably not going to be too high ever. We'll see. I think it's just Bizung _ I think is his Twitch name. Second healer should allow EK to do more damage with a Tito. Yeah, I guess it's just really endgame spawns that EKs don't use with Tito though, right? Like Rotten. Do EKs use Utito regularly in like Soul War and stuff? I guess it depends on the levels. Yeah, I mean, yeah, but this is also why I think people, you know, freaking out too much. Like, I think Tipsoft has the similar idea, right? They want to see the monks actually reach a certain level before they're going to be balancing in that direction. And, you know, I always said that's fine, as long as they are keeping in mind that if it is underperforming, they do need to buff it in the late game. I still think it probably will need some sort of buff adjustment in the late game, but we'll see. But I think they may wait a few more months and actually see some more team hunts in that level range rather than like 2 people who are doing it, or 3 or whatever. Hello, Kusnier. Which gin color is appropriate for a monk? I'm not sure if I'm the best person to ask, because my answer is always blue. I always get blue gin on every single vocation and character. I never, ever, ever get green gin, because it's a chore to take it and sell it. So I always get blue, sell my blue stuff myself, and put green stuff on markets. So that's my answer for gin in general. Yes, I feel very blue. I feel very blue. Yes, that's the song. That's the song I was just thinking of. But I shall not attempt. I shall not attempt to sing it. I think evaluating monk for really high level at this point is pointless. Like until literally there is a level like 1.5k monk, and seeing how it performs in those endgame team hunts with somebody who knows how to play it and the team actually uses the monk to its strengths, it's really like not really possible to predict. Like the prediction is it's not going to be that great, but reality may be different if, like, you know, a really good monk actually tries to do it. Who knows? We'll see. What spawn do you think will be the next EXP jump for you, and what level would that be? At this point, I expect it to be dragons, around 600-700. I think I could probably do about 8 raw by level 600 to 700 at dragons with charms. So I'll have to get charms first. I'm pretty sure I don't have them. Let's have a look. Yeah, I don't even have them unlocked in Bestiary. How does the monk feel after the latest nerf? It's fine. It feels weaker, of course. They hit some nice parts of his kit, but still stronger than other vocations in this mid-level range. Still a lot stronger than my Paladin or EK at the same level.
I called you tonight. I've been thinking this for too long. Send a message, you don't reply. I'll keep looking for you, even if it's wrong.
Surely new mobs will be weak to earth or electricity. Yes. Yeah, I mean, tips are... It's kind of like how monsters... There's no, like, monsters which are really strong to physical because of paladins. I think similarly, you know, it's not really... There's not really going to be monsters, like, really strong to earth and energy added to the game now because of the monks. Unless Tipsoft, for some reason, really does not want monks to hunt that particular place. Hello, Godash. This respawn is hype for Monk. Yeah, this is a great respawn for the Monk's kit, indeed. $3K Monk. I think it'll be a while. It's possible to do zero supplies without the Soul Mass. It would be much harder without the Soul Mass. I think it might be possible with the Lion Claws at this level. Like if I had everything else how I have it, but switch the Soul Mass for the Lion Claws, maybe I could get away with it. Maybe I could do a zero supplies hunt without the Soul Mass, but it'd be close anyway. If I couldn't, then I'd barely be using any supplies anyway. Maybe I'd use like 100 supplies, 100 potions an hour with a Lion Claws. Will the Greaves change a lot for you? Not really. Not really. It's going to make for like easier hunts at like Falcons and Bashmu. Once we hit level 500, we're definitely going to check out Falcons at some point for a retest. I really like hunting Falcons, actually. It's one of my, yeah, well, maybe not favorite, but like it's up there with like places that I like to hunt. The main thing I don't like it about is the people running through all the time. But other than that, I do really enjoy that that particular hunting ground. So yeah, I'll be checking that out. And yeah, just anywhere else that does a lot of energy damage. But it's not actually tons of places like that. You know, Bashmu, Falcons, Girtabilu, right? I don't know if there's anything else, to be honest. Overworld, I guess, but it doesn't really matter because it's super easy for me at this level anyway. I want to ask something. I watch your videos lots of time on YouTube, and I was playing like 7 years ago. Now I want to be back to Tibia. I have a 420 EK, but my skill is very low, 102.96. Which way is better for me? Go on, go on, go on. You finish the question, Godosh. I'm waiting. Have I tried Poomin already? Yes, but it was kind of tricky because I don't have Health Layer Bestiary, and without Health Layer Bestiary, it's not very good, as you can imagine. Oh, Poomin. No, sorry, you meant Poomin. No, I was answering about Plague, but I think Poomin's the same story, right? Poomin's probably okay once I get my Health Layer Bestiary. And yeah, with those skills on a level 400 EK, right, whatever your question is, I suggest you get a new character, because yeah, unless you're very attached to that character emotionally for whatever reason, but that is a pretty poop skill. In goal, I don't think the monk is going to be very good on in goal. It's one of those dense respawns that I don't think is very well suited to the monk. I think it's going to be okay. Once you're high enough level to make it work, it's going to be okay, but it's not going to be a sort of go-to respawn for the monk, I think. Although like a 1k plus monk is probably going to do pretty crazy stuff at in-goal. Not quite as crazy as like a paladin, but still pretty crazy, I'd say. Definitely be trying it eventually. In-goal lowest fist, well, there you go. Probably not then. Better to buy a new character from Bazaar? Yeah, probably. If you haven't played in so long, it's always better to buy a low character. Just buy like a level 100 EK with 120 skill or something if you can find it. And yeah, I'm gonna get the levels real quick anyway. I don't like ED, so I would always go for Sorcerer myself. And anyway, Sorcerer's in line to get some buffs / reworks, so that's gonna be exciting. It could just make Chain Penance hit 10 things now anyways. Not like the last hits will do any damage. Oh boy. I do think changing Chain Penance to hit more targets but deal less damage is the right way to go. Except they will have to take away the negative scaling if they do that. So yeah, I'm all for it though. Um, 100 skill on a level 400 monk is fine, but I think that the question there was more around a 400 EK after 7 years having 100 skill. In which case no, it's not good. It's very poop. It'd be bad on like a level 200 EK. Never mind on a 400. Reckon Bestiary easy at 260? Oh, I'm sure it is. Monk gets nice power spikes all the time. Which level farming gold tokens becomes viable? I'm assuming you mean their respawn and not like actually killing the gold token bosses. I think around 300 it becomes viable. Like, you can do it earlier even. You can go like the easier section of Overworld at like 250 with a Cobra BO. But generally speaking, the results are not really good enough to justify it. Yeah, if you go at like 300, 350 with good items, then it's very easy and good profit. Almost got blown up twice on 250. Yeah, you need to watch out which section you go to. If you go to like this main section hub, it's very hard. But I think the section nearer to like Spargrund is a little bit easier in gold token section. But yeah, maybe you can consider like level 300. If you get your items for level 300, that's a lot of extra protection. That'll make it a lot easier at gold tokens. Yeah, those items are expensive. Monk is expensive right now. Well, if you want to try the monk when it's new, you got to pay the price. Oh, 3k crit into Makara, Savage Blow, and crit. Oh, beautiful. That was actually an all-time high hit for me. You can see it here. 3k and 77. Just hit that now into Makara. $125 skill is minimal for EK. Yeah. If you don't have 125 base skill without loyalty on an EK, like, it's not even worth leaving depot, to be honest. Like, what are you doing with your life if you don't have 125 skill? Like, are you a poor boy? Embarrassing. Next, you're gonna tell me you don't have a fairy hat and a golden outfit. Ugh. Pathetic. You're only allowed to type in my chat if you have a fairy hat. I'm sorry, I don't make the rules. Finally found you live. Hello. Hello, Manoir. Do Savage Blow apply to the spells just like Lowbro or just auto attacks? I've heard rumor that it works only for autos. No, of course not. Of course not. That would be bizarre and also useless. No, of course not. Savage Blow applies to everything. Just like every other charm in the game. I always watch your videos on YouTube. Cool, well, here you are catching me live then, finally. Cool. I'm enjoying my journey with 450 EK, 110 skill right now, aiming for 115 before 2026. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. That's also perfectly fine. It's slightly different though if you're actually playing and you've got a character, right? This guy says he's coming back after 7 years. So yeah, he has a character. But you know, if you're coming back after 7 years, like, you have no like recent progress on that character, it's not really of any value to you, presumably. If I was coming back after a long break or I didn't have a character, you know, I would be buying a skilled character. But if you're already playing, you've got a character that you like, then yeah, sure, by all means, just stick with it, right? But if you're coming back or, you know, retired before, then I think it really is valuable to buy, especially if you have like 100 skill on level 400. Are you looking for more nerfs? No? I with all seriousness, every time somebody asks me now, I genuinely do not believe we need any more nerfs at the moment. It does not feel super broken. Like, it's still obviously strong, but I don't think it warrants any more nerfs, and I would be quite upset if there's more nerfs. Main objective in playing Tibia is having fun. Of course. Goes for any video game, but, you know, a lot of people do get enjoyment from having high numbers and results, and if they have a garbage skilled character, a lot of people don't have fun because of that. So, you know, having a higher skilled character does also often equal more fun. Still not using supplies? No. Why would I use supplies when I don't need to? It's better to rebalance other vocations? I think I'm all for improvements to other vocations, more along the lines of quality of life improvements that would also result in like better results. But I'm against this consensus that, you know, buff everybody to the level of the monk, woohoo! Because I do think that it sounds like a nice idea in the short term, but it would have very negative consequences for the longevity of the game if everything was just power crept and everything was just trivialized because everybody's like, you know, it's like Goku from Dragon Ball just destroying everything. Like, if we had to buff everybody to the level of monk, then we'd also have to buff all the monsters in the game by an equivalent amount to not make the game too easy. I'm much more looking forward for quality of life / more options for other vocations. Like I said, like for an EK, I would love to have this stance like the monk, so you could have like Utito and Utamo stances, kind of like the virtues, so you wouldn't have to cast them all the damn time. That would be amazing. That would, you know, really cool. For the sorcerer, maybe do like a passive application of the debuffs instead of having to cast their debuffs as well. So, you know, make the debuffs like on hit. Again, you select, maybe again kind of like a virtue type implementation where you select which debuff you want to be active, and then as long as that is active, whenever you deal damage to a monster, automatically applies the debuff. You know, stuff like this, like that would be sufficient for me to make other vocations, you know, much closer. I'm kind of against like increasing damage of abilities on other vocations, right? If there was like a rebalance, I don't think I would like to see, you know, Ixori Grand getting 10% damage buff or whatever. Like, I don't think that's what we need, because that will just that is just power creep. Pure and simple, that's just power creep. That long term just lowers the value of the game, in my opinion. If I wanted to just blow everything up, I'd go to play OTs or the monk. I hope that silly joke does not invalidate everything I just said. They should buff Mother of Scarablair so we all stay there forever. I like that respawn, but I don't like the paralyzers. Remove the paralyzers from Mother of Scarablair, and I'm all for your idea. Would it be too much if they removed mage waves and replaced for chain-like spells? I mean, yeah, I like it. That would be a strong buff along the quality of lines, but it just takes away the identity though, like too much. Like at the end of the day, like the vocations have a certain identity, right? Sure, we can just change all the spells for all the vocations to be chains, but then not sure that that's a great solution either. Zero supply hunts trigger other vocation newbies that don't have enough brain cells to realize it's a hunt that can only be done under special circumstances with best charms, gear, where you underperform is just for the picture and then run to crowd performance for nerves. Okay, well, as you said, those are newbies, right? Doesn't matter. I mean, it's on Tipsoft to realize that. I mean, they should be, you know, professional game developers and be able to... Whatever, all you said is right, but surely Tipsoft needs to know that's right as well, no? I mean, you know, doesn't mean really anything to me. Doesn't mean like I should not be able to play the game because I give away the wrong impression to people. It's not really my problem, at least from my perspective. I don't think it's my problem that newbies see that or think it. I think it's if Tipsoft treats their newbies too seriously, it's on Tipsoft, not on me. It doesn't matter if they mass cry on forums. Again, not really my problem, to be honest. Again, it's on Tipsoft. They are the multi-million game developer. They need to be the ones who need to read through that and understand the implications. And if they react just because people cry on the forums, then well, it's on them. I don't know. Even if they do watch me, it doesn't matter. It's still not my... Still not my problem. I'm just some fucking guy playing Tibia in his mother's basement, all right? It doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter. And if they base their balancing decisions on some random dude playing the game, then they failed as a company, okay? And you should take it up with them, not with me, okay? I'm just out here, you know, enjoying my best life, playing the monk, having fun, chatting shit, you know, baiting people about the nerfs. It's great. It's great fun, but I'm just some guy. Don't put so much pressure on my shoulders like I'm the person responsible for the survival of the game and the vocation. Like, I refuse to accept this responsibility. It's not my responsibility. I'm just playing a fucking game I like, all right? That's it. If the developer is somehow using me to make the design decisions, it's on them. It's not on me, okay? I refuse to let that be on me. By the way, Kusnier, I commented on your VOD from Undertale and proposed for you to speed imbue. Oh, that was you, was it? Yes, I saw it. I saw it. I think the timering, I'm not sold on. The speed imbue, if I remember, I will put on next time, yes. They need a better data analyst? Well, you're assuming that they don't have a good data analyst. I mean, so far, this is the thing, like, people... Let me put it this way. Okay, let me phrase it this way. So far, based on the nerfs that Tipsoft has done to the monk, the 3 nerfs that we've had, I personally don't find any of them particularly out of place or like that would paint Tipsoft in like some terrible light as an unqualified company who's done like horrible nerfs, undeserved nerfs. I think so far, all the nerfs were pretty much okay. Like the most questionable thing I have is this -9% on chain penance, which is dodgy as fuck. But it was chain penance that was overperforming, and that needed to be put in line. And it did. I mean, the solution in which they did it, maybe not ideal, but whatever. So I don't think, right now, I don't think there's much of an argument to be had like, oh yeah, they're just terrible at balancing the game. They need a better data analyst. It's garbage, whatever. It's the weakest vocation. They still nerfing it, whatever. No, I think so far the nerfs haven't been, again, when you listen to the forums, you get a different picture, but overall the vocation is still fine and strong. And I don't think they have done a terrible job so far. Late game aside, okay, this is very important to remember that they are not balancing for the late game yet, and I give them the benefit of the doubt that they will balance the late game when the time is right. And I judge all the viability and the nerfs so far on early to mid game, because those are the levels that people have at the moment. Against Sanguine Trousers on level 500, yeah. Check out my Zoan chest box and the last item in there. They've been waiting for me for a long time. I think I bought them at like level 300-ish or so. Sometimes it's not about data, it's about numbers. If you report enough time, they will close it even with 0 proofs. I don't think so. I definitely don't think so. There have been so many issues and bugs and shit reported over the years, hundreds of times, and Tipsoft doesn't fix them. So no, I don't think just because people cry about something over and over and report over and over, I think Tipsoft does not give a shit about what people write on forums. Truly, in fact, I wish they cared more about what people say on forums. I honestly think they almost despise the player base, and they really don't actually give much weight to what the army of Tibians cry about on the forums. That you didn't get to use it before the nerf? Oh yeah, it's got the crit damage, right, on the chain penance. Yeah, that would have been beautiful. Yeah, okay. So yeah, I know Bizung. Sorry, so first thing is Bizung is hunting stuff that's very bad for the monk, okay? If Bizung was hunting library still, like, most 500-600 level characters would probably do, I don't think he would find the monk to be that bad. He's hunting a respawn that's just not very good for the monk. And second of all, overall, I agree. I agree that the monk will not be that good in the team hunt in the late game. But I keep saying, in my opinion, that is not yet what Tipsoft is balancing around. And I think it's probably the right way to go about it. There's like 3 people in the game, at that level, which, sucks for them that the monk is unbalanced at that level. But it's way more important that there's a more appropriate balance for the, I don't know, thousands of monks in the mid game, as well as for the thousands of non-monk players who play in those level ranges as well. Nobody wants to go to a respawn as a level 600 and to be invaded by a level 250 monk who's like winning all the kills, But that's what Tipsoft is balancing around now. Yeah, is the late game potentially sucky on the monk? Yeah, but I don't think it's the target of the balancing yet. If the monk is still sucky a year from now at that level and Tipsoft still hasn't fixed it, then you're going to hear me complain about the end game, because I believe Tipsoft is just giving it a bit of time to develop. And given that the Tibia is not a game that you play for 3 months, it's a game you play for 5, 10 years, whatever. It doesn't matter if for a few months the monk is a little bit weaker at high levels. In the grand scheme of things, it's not going to matter. So I think it's fine. If they really never fix it, never address it, and it's garbage forever, then they failed. Again, they failed as a company. And then I will definitely voice my concern. But right now, I don't think it's it's at the top of the priorities, considering how few people are actually in that level range and actually feel the effects of it. Is Monk going to be the definitive solo vocation? I don't think that's the goal. It may end up that way, but I don't think that's the goal. Oh, I can get another boost going, maybe after this pack. Monk is broken and can't be denied. Imagine being an EK, same skill. They're different vocations. The Monk, the EK is a lot chiller and simpler to play. But yeah, generally speaking, if there was like a, you know, some sort of tibia tournament for getting the highest experience per hour in majority of the spots at like level 400, yeah, the monk would win those tournaments, right? But I don't think that's a major issue, because again, it's just a small level range and the end game at the moment is not great, so the monk does need to have some strengths, right? Otherwise, why play it? You're not playing it for the end game, you're not playing it for the, you know, end game team hunting, you're not playing it for the bossing, so at least it has, you know, nice profit making abilities and nice EXP in the mid game. Monk would win or Kusnier would win? Monk. It's got nothing to do with me. For every Kusnier, there's like, you know, at least 100 players of every vocation of the same skill. You playing it for the drome. I want my bestiary potions. How much shall a 450 RP have here raw? I think I was doing this not long ago. I think I was doing like 5.2, 5.3 with no praise, and I think with a prey or two I was doing like 5.9 raw or something. Except, you know, barely making a profit. And also, you know, right now I'm really not focused and I'm really chatting too much to chat. Like I can do a lot more here on the monk. Monk can easily do 6.5 KK raw here while actually playing normally and not chatting. There's a big difference between a Sorgob and Nagatanko. 2% physical and 1 fist. I mean, that's all there is to it. It's up to you to decide if that's relevant or not. I think it's relevant. 2% physical is, you know, nothing to scoff at, like permanently for free. Did you have best in slot items on the paladin and full charms? Yeah, I think so. Oh yeah, definitely. I think you can like push, yeah, you know, maybe 6 KK raw, like optimal play here on the paladin. With a damage prey, maybe. It's definitely worse than the monk. But you know, the paladin doesn't yet come online at that level, right? 450 paladin is starting to get strong, but it's absolutely not yet the beast it's going to be at a higher level. This button isn't also really built for paladins with the small hallways. Indeed. It's okay. It's not. Yeah, it's kind of clunky on the paladin. So yeah, this is a really good spawn for the monk. The way the layouts are. Let me explain something. It's better to wear items with higher mantra or protections. Generally speaking, protection, like more physical protection, is going to be better than mantra. I guess you're asking to consider like Jade legs or Dwarven legs or something. Generally speaking, Dwarven legs are going to be better defensively and Jade Legs would be better offensively. Do you think Falcon Sire is worth it in Rich Respawn? Not really. Falcon Sire is bait. You can use it in like Warzone 4, lower Rush Armor. But it honestly not very good. You think you can get more than 6.5 KK roll with Sanguine Claws there? Oh yeah. Sanguine Claws will probably help push this Respawn. I could go more than 6.5 now. Like I peaked here at like 6.9 with charms only. So yeah, if you like play really well, this spawn scales very well. I'm just like, I'm doing 5.7 now, which is kind of embarrassing. I kind of want to focus actually a little bit because it's almost making me look bad just because of how bad I'm playing. This spawn, you can do a lot more than this when you're actually focusing. Maybe let me try and focus for a little bit. See if we can up the experience somewhat. All right, there we go. Just a couple of minutes of focusing and we're back to 6.1 KK raw. And this is after a couple of minutes of focusing. I could do 6.5 KK raw here with no supplies if I was not streaming and reading chat all the time. I think I could probably do off stream using supplies, you know, full hardcore. I could probably do 7 raw here still without any praise. In Brazil, Soul Commander is pretty much inaccessible. It's pretty much inaccessible everywhere. Brazil or not, it doesn't matter. People transfer it between servers anyway. It's just as accessible in Brazil as it is anywhere else. At that price point, you just transfer it anyway. I transferred mine from a Brazilian server, actually. So maybe I'm part of the problem why they're not accessible in Brazil. In fact, all like best in slot items are generally transferred from Brazil. You guys really farmed the end game. Seven raw after nerf looks hard. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll try it at some point, but I'd have to come here off stream. And believe me that I am sick of this place, and the only reason I can hunt here now is because I'm streaming, so I'm distracted with you know, chatting and stuff. I could still come here for a test at some point. I think you could be looking near 7 KK raw though, with just praise. And I don't even have animus. .38. Yeah, okay. Honestly, yeah. My experience right now is low because I'm not focusing very much, but you can still really push a lot higher than this. Without Soul Commander, you probably do 1 KK raw less. I think without Solkamas, I use a lot more supplies. I think the damage between Solkamas and, for example, Rending Inferniar Claw, I think it's not that big. I could definitely not do a 0 supply hunt though without Solkamas, so I would just be using a lot more supplies. But experience, I don't think it would be as much as 1kk raw, definitely not. I think when I went from hunting here with Rending and then to Solkamas, I don't know, I want to say it was maybe 300k raw or something like that. So yeah, noticeable, but it's definitely not that insane. The Solkamas just makes it very safe and profitable because, you know, extra imbuement slots, so great. But it doesn't have that much more damage. Got your Rending Inferniarch, very nice. Certainly a nice weapon. And very cheap to use with just one imbue. Is Rending just like the imbue perma? it's a better perma powerful imbue. It's got like, you know how crit is normally 50% extra damage? The Rending is 58. So it's like a better perma powerful crit. How much does it cost to upgrade them to Rending? I think it's like 30-ish KK at this point. And on the server. You think your videos are affecting directly the way Tipsoft is balancing vocation? No, I don't. Also, I don't really agree with with that argument. Like, by that logic, you know, if you make any sort of content with best in slot, that's kind of lying. What if I made a video on a 500 paladin hunting Roshamar West and I claimed 1kk profit per hour? Is that lying because I had best in slot and, you know, I had to save up for years to get that best in slot to be able to hunt there? I don't... What's the difference between 0 supplies and 1k profit or 300 supplies and 1.3kk profit? Like, I don't really agree with that argument. And anyway, no, I do not believe that my videos affect Tipsoft's decision making. And if they do, it's to a very, very small degree, in my opinion. I think they are an experienced enough company that anything they do, any nerfs they do base it on their analytics and in-game data. I can believe that maybe they follow streamers and YouTubers, not just me, to pick up on trends of what may be too strong. But once they pick up on the trend and realize that maybe it needs a look, they'll do an analysis of their own. And if their analysis confirms that something's too strong or broken, then they may do whatever balancing. They absolutely do not just watch a video and like, oh, holy shit, this is so broken, let's nerf it tomorrow, kind of stuff. So no, I do not think my videos are directly or even indirectly responsible for the nerfs. Zero supply is possible with basic set? No, of course not. You're still going to be spending a lot less supplies with a basic set than an EK or a Paladin with a basic set, because you get to avoid a bunch of damage. Zero potions is very depending on the spot, it definitely requires best in slot. You think that you could push better raw with supplies? Oh yeah, of course. I play way safer and heal a lot less because I'm using Exurigran. With supplies, this place is 7kk raw while still making a profit. And it's not even a lot of supplies, right? Honestly, I'm gimping myself doing this kind of shit. Like, I don't know. I like this content. I find it ridiculous and funny to be able to do this, but in reality, I shouldn't really be doing it. Like, in reality, optimal hunt here as a monk is using 200 to 300 ultimate spirits per hour, which is still like nothing, by the way. That's barely any supplies. And your transcendence potions, whatever. And you'd be making like 7kk raw because you're able to push the character a lot more. Ideally I'd be doing that, but I have to say I do enjoy. I enjoy the zero supply stuff. I don't know why. I guess I'm just kind of twisted like that, I enjoy the people coming into chat being like, WTF, I don't know. It puts a smile on my face, so that's why I do it. But it's not the optimal way to play by any means. In certain respawns, when it's really easy, it's the optimal way to play. Like if I went to hunt were tigers at this point, it's so damn easy that the zero supply hunt is the optimal way to play because it doesn't actually slow you down in any way. But at Nagas, it's still just hard enough that you do actually need to slow down the pace of killing a little bit. Half a lap of ads, sorry. And also thank you. Thank you for keeping the stream alive. Someone said you are the lead monk designer. Yeah, I know. That was Tiger, wasn't it? I'm the lead monk enthusiast. I'll take that. Yep, Swave ADC, absolutely. Is it Swave or is it Suave? It's Suave, isn't it? I always mispronounce that word. Yeah, absolutely, right? Absolutely. I think if people expect that to be the case, and there'd be no balancing, at all, very misguided. I wish I made a little video around the monk's launch saying, dudes, be prepared for rebalancing, otherwise don't play. I wish I did that because now I could just send the link to that video to everybody. But yeah, I didn't. Never mind. Good. You have reference here in Brazil. I'm not exaggerating. Cool. Yeah, the only thing that I don't like about being a reference is that generally it actually, ironically, probably undermines me a little bit because if you use my reference, if you use me hunting on stream as a reference, it's usually significantly worse than what I do off stream. Like, genuinely, if you watch me streaming, you can assume I do about 5 to 10% more when not streaming, pretty much everywhere. And this holds for literally every spot I go to, just because of how much attention and focus streaming takes away, for me at least. Maybe, you know, some people can stream and it doesn't seem to affect them that much, but I really try to look a lot at the chat and respond, and it takes away, absolutely takes away from my gameplay. Imagine if, like, one day I dropped a YouTube video of just being like, oh, hey guys, I'm just going to show you where I work. And I walk into Tipsoft office and I go into the CEO office. Oh, that would be beautiful. Your streams are very enjoyable though, just so you know. Thank you. I do my best. I try my hardest not to just, you know, sit here gaming. I try to talk to as many of you as I can. Unfortunately, not always possible, especially at harder respawns, and especially when the chat is moving so fast. I can't bloody read a thing, but I try my best. Going to Monk department. Yeah, I'm really confused. How about Harmony or Justice? Can you give me a heads up? Right now, I'm using Harmony. Since the nerf the other day, I'm a Harmony boy. Ring, ring, ring. Hello. Sorry. Thank you. Can I switch to Justice to see the difference in XP? I would have to switch the wheel as well. I don't think so, Swedish. Maybe next time we do a stream, we can do it. But I mean, I tried it already on a different respawn, and it was like 4% in the one respawn I tried it. I expect the difference would be a little bit less here. The respawn I tried it was Aslan Castle, which is very dense, which is very good for Harmony. If I had to guess, if I had to take an educated guess, I'd expect Harmony to be like maybe 2% better here than Justice. It's absolutely not some massive game-breaking difference, but I do think Harmony is better here. Safe to say Ethereal Coned Hat is the only one you need. Aye. Demon Mengu technically maybe would be okay for some death protection somewhere, but fuck that. It's too expensive now to hold on to it. If I better sell the Demon Mengu, and if you're really desperate for that death protection, just buy it back in a few months when it's gonna be you know, cheaper. No point holding on to Monk items at the moment. They're bound to lose tons of value over the next, you know, months and months. Some people are better able to read the stream chat because of where they place the chat on the stream. Yeah, yeah. I think I have it in a pretty good place. I think my problem, I don't know. I don't think there's much I could do to improve it's not so much the reading the chat that's the problem. I think for me, I think it's the fact that I try to, I don't know, think. Not saying other streamers don't think, but I think I try to analyze the questions maybe too much sometimes and answer it, you know, and go on one of my monologues, you know, about this thing or the other, and then that distracts me from playing. You know, I could just answer a question yes, you know. Half the time the questions can just be answered with a yes or no, but I think my nature is to tend to dig a bit deeper into the question and actually analyze a bit more and give a bigger answer, which then ends up costing me some experience, possibly. How do you feel with the nerfs of the monk? It's fine. It was warranted. If they're not gonna buff other vocations, then the nerfs were definitely warranted. Thanks for asking my question. I didn't mean it to be like putting down to content. I actually see all your videos. Yep. If you take a 500 RP and full best in slot to Russia and claim it does a lot of rogue speed for me, yes, it's the same misrepresentation of what a level 500 paladin can do. Okay, well then I think we just have a general difference in what Ari TV. Thank you very much for the Prime sub. I think we have just a general disagreement in what we would consider to be valuable portrayal of results. In my opinion, this is how I've made my content all the time, and I also think this is something people don't really understand, that's how I portray my content. Okay. Here comes a monologue, by the way. So if you're going to ask a question now, you're not going to get an answer. There are many different power levels within Tibia, even within the same level, okay? Power level between one player and another, and one character and another, varies wildly. And there are tons and tons and tons of factors that come into it, okay? There's skills, there's gear, hell, there's charms, there's... I don't know, tons of things, right? You even have like forge and stuff, although that falls under gear. Obviously, player skill is another one. So the answer, the question... The question is, all right, and then have a think about this. If you're gonna make a guide or a reference or a place, taking all those things into consideration, that everyone is at a different level, what is the most valuable portrayal of the results that you can possibly have that can be referenced? I hope that question is clear. And I asked myself that question very close to the time I started making videos. And my answer to that question is to portray the results and present them in the highest possible results that you can get at the spot. That means highest achievable results that you can get at the spot. I think that in general has the highest value and can be used by most players. Okay, I think if you provide the highest possible values, and when I mean highest possible values, what do I mean? I mean very good skills. Now I don't mean 150, but I do usually mean like 120 for a paladin or an EK. I mean best in slot items. So again, no tiers, but I would expect like soul set, sanguine set, primal set. And I expect a very good playstyle. Again, you don't have to be the best player in the world, but you know, my results kind of portray results for the top, you know, maybe 5% of the player base, okay? And if you take all those things in account and then having the best possible value can get at a respawn, in my opinion, is the best way to present results for the whole player base, because then everybody knows what they can aim for based on that, right? You know that this is achievable. And yeah, you need to have a little bit of a self-reflection when you look at those results and a bit of understanding of how the results are created. If you don't have that 120 skill, if you don't have that best in slot, if you don't have God knows how many years of playing this game, you're not going to get those results. But that's fine. That's not the point of me making those guys. My point of making those guys is showing what's possible that you can use as a reference point for everybody. What's the alternative? So what's the alternative? Aiming for the 50th percentile of a guide. So how could I go about that if I was to go for average guide? Create a new YouTube channel called Kusnier's Average Guides, right? To make for the average player to be closer to their results. How do I even go about that? Do I gimp my own skill level somehow and play worse on purpose? Is that useful to anybody? But how difficult is it going to then be to reevaluate how much of Kusnier gimping himself actually is, reasonable? and and then I go and I have average skills and average gear, and then somebody has better skills and better gear, and they come in the video and they don't know what they should be aiming for, what they can achieve. I say I come in with like garbage items to Nagas and I do 5kk raw, and then Viklund comes in with his best in slot stuff here on the level and great skills. He has no reference point for what's achievable on that respawn, right? So yeah, bottom line, monologue almost over. In my opinion, like the most value you can get from a single guide or video is through showing the best achievable thing you can, including best skills, best gear, and best skill level within reason. Like I say, no tiers, not 150 skill. And I think that has the most value, and that's how I decided to make my guides. And I think if for anybody who truly thinks about this, about guide making, at a level that's slightly higher than just complaining about in YouTube comments, if I actually stops and thinks about it, I think a lot of people will agree that this is the best way to make guides that are as reliable and useful in the long term for the widest variety of players. Okay. Oh, now I need a drink. So yeah, to go back to the original question, no, I do not think it's lying or like somehow deceptive. I think players just need to be able to look at the guide, look at the gear used, look at the skills used, and adjust their expectations if their character is different. And that is the only way in which making guides for Tibia works, because this isn't World of Warcraft where the power level of all characters is basically the same. Obviously, slightly different. Obviously, you still got gear and stuff in World of Warcraft, but generally speaking, in World of Warcraft, the skill comes from the player. In Tibia, it's a lot more that also comes from, the gear and skills of the character. Anyway. I'll stop now. Did someone, I think someone was asking for the wheel and the charm. So for the wheel, I'm using ascetic at the moment on the monk. By the way, look at the experience. Look, 5.5kk raw, right? This is exactly what I mean when I say that my experience goes way down when I'm streaming, right? I go on one of my fucking monologues or something like that, and the experience just drops because it's not possible for me to be having a rant/monologue and focus as much on the game. So using my results when I'm streaming is actually not super reliable. Can't monologue and maintain 6kk raw. Washed. I would go for the washed hashtag. Talk to the driver. Yes. I think that's the best way to nerf pretty much anybody. Is Virtue of Justice fine for lava lurkers? Yeah, it's fine. I really don't think at that level it matters much if you use Justice or Harmony, to be honest. I'm like sweating. Talking is hard, dude. It's really hard to talk this long. Walking is a skill. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Ah. That sounded very depressing. No, Wired. Do you need to talk to somebody? Oh God. Okay. Hello, this Torre 69. I'm well, thank you. I'm just killing some water creatures. Trying to burn that stamina, you know. Feel guilty that it was 42 hours. I've wasted like 40 minutes of stamina today because yeah, it was full. It was full for 4 hours before I started hunting. It's kind of shameful, really. Hate having to learn different rotation for harmony. I had such 9 muscle memory of justice already. I mean the rotation between for me, the rotation between justice and harmony, the only thing that changes for me is that I don't do the final chain, right? I literally use the same rotation, just, you know, in justice you have the 5th spell is the chain penance, and in harmony you just don't have that because you have a full bar, so you go sweep and takedown. I mean, I don't know what your muscle memory is like, but that's very, to me, it's very easy to switch, especially as you've got this indicator of the harmony charges. It's really, really not very different. Using 4 builders is easier. I don't know about that. I don't really see why that would be easier. But it's definitely, I don't know. I don't think the rotation changes enough for it to be a problem. You're still using the exact same spells in the same order. You just cut one out at the end, right? At least that's how I do it. You change the harmony on your mana bar. I thought about it, but I got used to doing it like this, and honestly, like, I find myself tracking the health bar more than I see myself tracking the mana bar, which means that for me, having the harmony charges near the health bar so I can track both of them at once is easier. I thought about it when the monk first was on the test server. I was like, oh god, I don't like it here, but I got used to it and I prefer it in the long run. Drives OCD crazy. Why? Well, you just want to have it always full. You don't like the fact that it's not full most of the time. I guess I get that. I guess I get that, but I guess I just try not to think about it. It's nice when it's full. Oh, now it's full, and you're like, oh yeah, let's blast. Ah, I shouldn't have stopped here. I think Oh, we're alright. Thank you for a lucky G-fob crit. That saved my no supply run. No, I don't change the order. Like my Harmony and Justice Virtue, like they all start with the same 4 builders. I go Chain, Greater Flurry of Blows, Chain, Flurry of Blows. And then I just did a sweep and takedown in Harmony. Whereas in Justice, I would add an extra chain and then do a sweep and takedown. So really, really simple switch. I can like even switch mid-hunt and it won't be a problem. Baseball Balls 2 movies happening. I've heard. I didn't actually watch the trailer. I wasn't that interested, but I'll probably watch it when it comes out. It's blast. Have you seen, were you there when we were doing the original Spiritual Outburst test Italian? I think there's a clip of that still. When I did the double spender combo for the first time or the second time, that it worked really well. Shades of that. There it is. Yeah, Monk is probably the best solid vocation now. At least until, you know, higher levels. If you're looking at the, you know, really high levels, then, you know, Paladins are better. All right, 5. Boom. Very smooth tune. I would probably change it if I wasn't hunting, but let's have it. Till Sunday. Only weakness is getting boxed. Yeah, then in that case, yeah, for those cases, you really need to practice your getting out trapped combos. You know, you really want to get your focus serenity on a good hotkey, getting your cupcakes on and stuff. Because yes, if you get yourself trapped, you're in trouble. Bro's doing full profit mode. Yeah. Naga's #1 profit. Everybody knows that. Just hit 200 and try the familiar for the first time. It's cool, but kind of gaining the way. Do you ever use it? Nope. In fact, the familiar is another one of your get out of jail free cards when you get trapped. So like this is the thing, like what you want to have is you want to have your hotkeys for Virtue of Sustain and your hotkey for the Summon Monk Familiar to be pretty damn close together. You get yourself trapped. You press both those hotkeys straight away. You've got your Focus Serenity available, you know, for a quick double takedown as well if needed. And that's how you get out of traps. And pretty freaking good combo for getting out of traps. Probably the best one out of all the vocations. In fact, the monk has probably got the most chances of getting out of a killer box compared to other vocations as well. Well, you go on. What? Hang on a sec. Too many archers, man. They deal a lot of damage. 520 monk, full EXP mode. Either Nagas or Cobra Bastion. Obviously, I'm doing bad experience now. Ignore the experience now. But you can do 7kk raw here, like full EXP mode, with no combat praise. So it's still very, very good respawn for a long time. Is this a rebroadcast? Feels like it, doesn't it? I'm sorry we're doing it the same thing for 2 days in a row. It's just kind of worked out that way. And this reminds me, I have 3 minutes on the Naga Warrior EXP. After this pull, remind me to get rid of the Naga Warrior. Pray, please. If I don't remember. Alright, I'll remember. Do we get anything? Rear guard in the summer court. Maybe we'll go there tomorrow. You look obsessed with that, Nerves. Just play and show good content. I'm all the time talking about it. It's because people talk about it, dude. My dude, I'd be happy to move on from the topic, but it's like the number one topic. Understandably so. I mean, I do play into it, you know, or sometimes some titles and stuff, but it is just the most common topic in general when it comes to the monk, about its power level and stuff. 5.4kk roll without charms and Cobra BO at 320. Very nice. I think that was around what I was doing at that level without charms as well. Maybe a little more. Can't remember now. That was before the nerf though. Any hopes for the teasers? Ooh, should be one tomorrow, right? We should have a teaser tomorrow. This may actually help me answer if I should stream in the morning or in the evening. I was going to stream, yeah, either in the morning or in the evening. I guess if it's teaser Monday, then we're probably going to stream in the morning. No, I have no hopes. If I have no hopes, I'm not going to be disappointed, so... Maybe 3 teasers this week. That's what I'm expecting, yeah. I'm expecting teaser Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then the very final one just before the test server early next week. Like, that week, whatever. Like, either a Monday or a Tuesday teaser and then a test server. Have you watched the Polish Rap Show on Netflix now? I cancelled Netflix about a year and a bit ago when they cracked down on the sharing accounts between households. At that point, it's lost its economic viability for me, so I cancelled. And anyway, honestly, doesn't sound like something I'd watch anyway. To be super honest. Is aesthetic wheel, or however it's called, bottom left the best now for 300 plus? It seems that way, yes. That's what I'm using. It is, in my opinion, the best one. I haven't done like super rigorous testing, but it feels, from the testing I have done, it does feel the best. When they normally open test server after last teaser, yeah, it's usually like last teaser and then it's like test server like the same day or the day after, I think. So yeah, I'd expect 3 teasers this week and then a teaser early next week and then test server after that. What would you like to see a new update? I don't know. I get this question a lot, but it's really hard to answer because I really don't. Tipsoft does not really create features that people can anticipate very often. So it's kind of, you know, kind of hard to answer. I don't know. I don't really have any particular request. The one request I had, I made on the forum board, which was to add peak raw experience per hour, which I would like in the analyzer just for a reference, but I highly doubt they will add that. Would be lovely test server this weekend. I don't think so. I don't think it'll be this soon. Have you tested tier 2 wheel for chain pennants? Is it really better than aesthetic? I don't have tier 2 chain pennants. I'm too low level. The gains from T2 chained are really incredible. What? The final T2 chained that hits for like 50% of the damage? Are you talking about spiritual outburst or are you talking about chain pennants? Benuta minus 8 for 405 level. How do you think? No soul weapon. Yeah? Very easy. Should be okay. Probably one of the better spots they have available without soul weapon, yeah? The different weapons from Monk have different designs, colors. I feel like I'm not understanding the question. There must be something else to it. Because yes, all the items have different designs and colors, obviously. I feel like I'm missing something, some nuance of that question. Energy items have the same hit design. Oh, okay. So you mean the effects of the abilities, not the weapons. I thought you were talking about the sprites and stuff. No, so if you change the element, you do different color. Look, now I'm doing green. See, this is earth, right? But if I switch to energy, then it's like this, right? Whereas they do have different, based on different elemental types, they have different effects. Sorry, I didn't quite understand the question. I'm kind of tempted to try a 15 minutes with supplies and see what experience I can get here. Because I'm quite disappointed in the results we've been seeing so far, because I've been so distracted. Maybe once we hit 2 hours after the next lap, we can cancel the no supplies challenge and do like 20 minutes with potions and actually go in, you know, aggressive and see what I can do here. I still don't think even so I still don't think I'll hit 7kk raw on stream, but I think we could maybe flirt with like 6-8 or something. Maybe that'd be nice to see. Let's do one more lap and maybe we'll do that. We should be able to make nice 2kk profit in 2 hours, so I guess we can invest some of that profit into an actual hunt, huh? Except I do only have 192 potions with me, so we'll only be able to do that for 15-20 minutes, I guess. Is Russia West not good on a monk? Not really. It's okay, it's fine. Like, you can definitely hunt there and do bestiary and stuff, but it's not going to be one of your best spots. Thank you, Tega. Well, we'll stop doing this in a second and we'll actually try hard for a bit. At the end of this lap, we're gonna do that and try and push the experience a bit. So I'll focus on the hunting a little bit more and less on the chat for like 15 minutes just to see what we can do. I really haven't tried. Honestly, I think like the last 5 times I've been to Nagas, it was always for this stupid zero supply challenge. I don't know when's the last time I even hunted at Nagas like properly. Must have been like 60, 70 levels ago. Can you use potions? Yes, I can. Well, currently I wasn't because I was trying to do a zero supply challenge. But we're gonna finish this lap soon, and we're gonna switch back to the more normal playstyle with supplies. It's still not gonna be very many supplies. Like, you still don't need many supplies, but you know, if you're gonna play aggressively here, you are gonna use some supplies. But the experience, I think, is gonna skyrocket. That's what I'm hoping for anyway. I'd like to see 6.8 raw. I'd like to see 6.8 raw. That's my goal. We'll see if we can do it. 600 Monk Solos Cobra Bastion? Yeah, I was there at 400, bro. And it was doable. It was hard, but it was doable. Cobra Basement is quite comfortable at 400. Alright, I think after this, after a couple more pulls, and we'll restart. And we'll switch to a supply type hunt. I'm an idiot, bro. How do I get the trapdoor Medusa Tower to work? Lol. You have to go to the top floor. There's been a new floor added, and there's like a little hole that you need to rope yourself up on the top floor. And then it's just a portal. I think you just not getting onto the top floor. You probably can't. You haven't seen the rope spot. That's it. Which is better for EXP and you against Bastion or Nagas? It's very close. I think Nagas is a lot more comfortable, though. Like, if I had to EXP somewhere for 100 levels, I'd rather go Nagas than Bastion, just because it's much more comfortable. You don't have to faff around with this stupid potion thingy. Anyway, all right, this is it now, boys. We are switching our healing spell, and we are putting the ultimate spirit potions on the hotkey. And we are going to start using transcendence potions, all right? That's it. No more zero supply. We succeeded for 2 hours, and now we are hunting. And let's see what we can do, experience-wise. We're doing like just under 6 now when I wasn't really focusing. So let's see what difference it makes when I focus and actually, you know, go hardcore without worrying about potions. Do you think Monk will be nerfed again at this stage or buff for late game? Buff for late game, please. That's what we need. Right, I'm going to focus now for 15 minutes or so until about 2 hours 20. And we're going to should be able to see what's still possible. Reset hunt analyzer? Nah, I don't think so. I like seeing the longer hunt analyzer. It doesn't matter. I still like to see the big profits and the big EXP gains. We'll still be able to just judge by the raw experience per hour. That's what I'm trying to optimize now. The peak raw experience per hour in the next 15-20 minutes. I don't really care about the supplies and stuff. You just got Hinakora's lock. Congrats, Quinn. Sorry, I'm just focusing a little bit. Just decided to try and push. Trying to push on the monk with using supplies for a change, you see. Congrats on the Hinakoras. That's league sorted though. How many KKs does your set cost at the moment? I don't know. It's about 50 KTC at this point, I think. Crazy. I've made a bank on this character mostly through the appreciation of the items I purchased. Yeah. Yes, could do that. Wukash could do that to boost that raw experience. Very simple trick.
don't wanna be the only fighter in this battle of the sands. I don't wanna be the lone survivor. Can we defend the land we conquered back in high command? I don't wanna be the only driver. Settle down today, we'll find a way to run towards what we have made. Take my hand and drive tonight. We'll find a way to bring back sunlight. Don't tell me, I'll find a way. Don't break
No, my nickname doesn't really mean anything.
me to stay.
Sorry, I'm just you know, just focusing. Looks like it's working though. Looks like the experience already picking up pretty significantly.
I don't wanna be the only commander. I'll settle for the last remaining dancer. Can we take flight and do what's right? Tarnish the side of modern life. I don't wanna be the lone survivor. Don't tell me, I'll find a way. Don't break me, I'm here to stay. All these dreams
No.
to bring back sunlight. Don't tempt me, I'll find a way. We will find a way. All these dreams go passing by. We'll find a way to bring back sunlight. Don't tempt me, I'll find a way. We will find a way. We will find a way. Settle down today, we'll find a way to run towards what we have made.
6-7. Okay, we're doing 6-7 at the moment. One more lap. Let's go. One more lap. We'll probably reach the peak at the end of next lap. See if we can crack that 7kk roll with charms only. No animus as well. Well, how would you try Vex, Claw, and Undead Dragon? I'll probably go there again at 500 plus. I want to do the bestiary there, so I will have to go again.
You think, watch what you eat, count all the calories, sitting around. slim down. Numbers are everything. Another pound stolen your crown, girl. Why can't you see my POV could set you free? Please set me free. Sing, get out, fuck self-doubt, tear it down. All this shit you know ain't serving ya. Good vibes round the corner from ya. Don't compromise with the shit you know ain't serving ya. POV could set you free. You think never enough, somehow too much for them. Every mirror reflecting fear. How could God love
We don't talk about what happened last time.
never escape? Demons keep following. Every drug leaving the
We will go again though.
Can't you see my POV could set you free? Please set me free. Sing, get out, fuck self-doubt, tear it down. All this shit you know ain't serving ya. Good vibes round the corner from ya. Don't compromise with the shit you know ain't serving ya. Good vibes round the corner from ya. Your POV changed everything.
All right, see if we break the peak on this lap now. If we're gonna break 7 raw, it's probably gonna be after this pull. If I don't mess anything up. No. 6.879. So just under 6.9 KK raw with charms only. Alright, I'll start relaxing now because I don't have it in me to try for another 15 minutes. 43k waste? Yeah. Oh well. So yeah, so I think with optimal play, you know, I didn't play perfectly for those 15 minutes or anything. I played pretty well. I tried to play as well as I could. But I think with really optimal play, 7 KK raw is probably still achievable. But yeah, I think 6.8 with like really good play, you can probably more or less maintain here now at this level with best in slot. When I actually focus. Thanks for the stream, Kusnier. What about Bashmul hunt with your set level 200? Is it an okay hunt? Yeah, I went there at 800 and it was okay, but you do need, you definitely need to have a defensive imbuement though, because they do bite quite hard. But do keep that in mind. Hello. Hello, bandito. I just did a massive takedown into the wall. God damn it. That feels bad. Why am I not using auto aim again? Anyway, I need to switch to the no supplies playstyle because I have 60 ultimates left. We'll finish off the lap probably, and then we'll go back to the old playstyle. Six KK Ron and 800 MS here. Skill issue, bro. Certainly not the monk issue. Go on. You died. Yeah, I died on the Under Dragon seal on my monk. After this pull, we're gonna switch back to Exura Gran and no supply hunting. Although to be super honest, I don't think I'm like staying here that much longer anyway. I've had enough of Nagas. Are we looking still about 6.6 point? Ooh, if we had a better if we did this pull better, could have had 6.9, I think. Yeah, still 6.8. All right, switching back. Yeah, very nice. Switching back to Exura Gran, taking off the potion, and we're back to zero supply hunting now. Okay, because I don't have enough potions to keep going. But as you can see, 6.8, very achievable still. Post nerf on a level 480, with just charms, no animus, no praise. Obviously best in slot as well, but it's not like I have crazy skills or anything. Is this place too small for a vocation hunt? It's okay for a 4 vocation, but on like a really quite a low level, like a 200 or something, you can 4 vocation here, I think. But like at, you know, higher levels, not really. Do you have any tips for how to bind hotkeys on a mouse with hotkeys? Just bomb, but I don't know where to begin. Yeah, try Aladdin hotkeys guide on YouTube. I hear there's a good guide on there. Oh, 2 seahorse figurines in like 1 minute. Profit. Who knew Nagas could be this profitable, huh? People always said it was an EXP spot. I need to I need to remember I'm not doing potions anymore. Imagine if I died. God. That'd be embarrassing. Whoop. Indeed. Have you tried Team Hunt on the Monkey? Do you know how it performs? Nope. I expect it doesn't perform very well on a high level. Expects okay, performs okay. On low level Team Hunts. Virtue of Harmony is worth using now. I'm using Virtue of Harmony now, yeah. I would use the Virtue of Harmony. Is it good to farm there as 520 paladin with very good set, close to best in slot? Which place are we talking about now? Which place is that? Zara, can you confirm which place you're asking about? Nagas. 500, yeah, I think you can hunt here on a 520 paladin. I hunted here on a, I don't know. I think I started from like 450 or so. And yeah, it's much harder than on the monk, but it is doable. If you've got like best in slot and you know what you're doing, then it's definitely doable. It'll be pretty hard, yeah. It'll be pretty hard to start with until you get your bearings and likely charms. Once you've got your charms, it'll be fine. I mean, I would recommend it for like I think on my guide, I said Nagas was like a 500 plus, but like 450 if you know what you're doing. But it's nothing like on the monk, you know. The monk does make it look very easy. How would you be if more monk nerfs were to occur? Honestly, I'm not super motivated right now anyway. I feel like I kind of want to take a small break. So if there was a nerf, I would be like, yeah, I'll just peace out for a bit. I don't know about Sad. I mean, I'm not particularly attached to any of my Tibia characters. If they're just nerfed, I'm like, well, all right. I'm not anticipating more nerfs, really. Like, I would be very, very surprised if there were more in the near future. If there's going to be a nerf, it's going to be after the September double. That's maybe, you know. They love a good nerf after double, so that you don't get too strong. So are hyenas still viable at 200 after the recent nerf? Yeah, I think so. I would still go there. It was never super easy though, because they do hurt a lot, but I don't think it's made that much harder after the nerf. At that, the level two, for the level 200s, the nerf really has not affected all that much, to be honest. Elf ice or fire? Oh, fire will be better. I like ice. I like summer court on 500 paladin. Winter court, ice. Winter court on 500 paladin. I really like it. I had a great time there. Summer court. Problem with summer court is you have to fight all the EKs for it, which is annoying. Whereas winter court is a lot more accessible, I find. And also it has like a bigger rooms, I think, generally. The run and kite, it's just more comfortable for the paladin. Yeah, in my experience, the results were about the same. Like the experience I was making at Summer Court and Winter Court on my paladin, basically the same from what I remember. But I absolutely preferred to hunt in the Winter Court. You think Monk was built for solo hunts only? Seems it does a lot of damage in solo hunts, but in party hunt is not that good. Yeah, that's an accurate representation of its strengths and weaknesses currently. Yes, it's much better for solo than team hunt. I don't think it was built that way. I think it's just turned out that way. And I don't think that's necessarily the target state. So I do expect to see some changes that would increase its team hunting viability. But don't know what those changes would be or when we're going to see them. Okay, unlucky Tose. Maybe you just got lucky the first time you went there not to die. I don't know. Like, you've definitely been nerfed, but not sure you've been nerfed significantly enough that after the nerf you like immediately die somewhere that was okay before. Not sure. Think we're gonna do one more lap and I'll end. I've had enough of these dudes. Oh, that's boring, man. And I also have a phone call scheduled with my kids in like 20-ish minutes. They're coming back tomorrow from their holiday. So yeah, we'll have one more stream tomorrow. Probably after server save, because we're anticipating a teaser, right? So I guess we'll stream after server save. I expect we'll go Azalon tomorrow. I'm not doing Nagas third day in a row. Don't worry. And we'll discuss the teaser. And then my kids are back in the evening, which I'm extremely happy about because I miss them dearly. But it does mean we're probably not going to be streaming for a little while. I think I kind of feel like I need a little break. You know, I've been streaming a lot the past few days. I've earned myself a break, so I think we'll have the stream tomorrow morning for a few hours, and then we'll probably not stream for a few days. We'll see. We'll see how I feel. Time to run around in circles and PoE. You know me well, Tiger. Actually, my build has really come online since yesterday. I had 2 divine drops this morning straight away after like waking up, and then that really pushed me over the edge. I'm like level 88 now, like blasting corrupted tier 12s. So, you know, progress has been made. Hate to have you change the virtue when you log in. Well, on the bright side, it does seem that virtue of harmony is better again. So I no longer need to change the virtue when I log in. Giga Brain, Giga Chad's Tipsoft have made sure that's the way to fix it, by the way. That's the way for Tipsoft to not have to fix this bug. They're just going to make sure that Virtue of Harmony is always the best one. Then they never have to fix this bug. Now that is my developer. That is the kind of game development I appreciate and approve of. Is he muted on my Twitch crash? Anybody else? Anybody can still hear me? Did I crash? Is everything okay? It's fine. Okay, thank you. Whew, it's always stressful when somebody says says something like that. I play Justice. Should I change the harmony at 200? Marginal. At that point, marginal. Harmony becomes a bit better with levels. I kind of like what Swedish is saying. It is better the more monsters you have. However, after the recent nerfs, Swedish, even for small pulls, basically harmony and justice are exactly the same. So like, so this is the difference. Okay, before the nerf, justice was always better for smaller pulls, while justice and harmony were pretty much equal for like bigger pulls. However, after the nerfs, the situation is like reversed, whereas for bigger pulls, harmony is always better, but for small pulls, harmony and justice are about equivalent. So it's really, so you kind of just stay in permanent harmony and you're fine. Yeah, maybe there's like, you can do like 1% more sometimes in certain circumstances and justice and like some low level respawns. But generally speaking, like if you're going to ask me to recommend one virtue to use right now to stay in permanently, it's definitely harmony. And the higher level you are, the more likely that statement is going to be true. Yeah, but yeah, at like level 150, you're hunting lava lurkers, you're hunting grim reapers, whatever, doesn't matter. Use justice, use harmony, really doesn't matter. By the time you like level 300 or whatever, you probably want to be in harmony. All right, one more pull and we're leaving. Gango, if you're watching my stream right now, which I guess you are, based by what you just said, no, the legs are currently reserved. All right, the legs are currently reserved by Arva, my friend. I did promise him I would sell those legs to him when I no longer need them. However, he's kind of stopped playing over the past week or two. So I will double check with him if he's like still actually planning to play the monk more, whether he still needs the legs because they're so expensive. Maybe he doesn't actually need them. Anyway, hunting tasks. Here we go. Take that. Take that. What have we got? Frazzlemores? Nah. Rhyme leeches. We could do those at some point. What do we have here? Seacrests. We could do Seacrest. I do want to do the Seacrest bestiary. Should I get Cobra BO or just wait for NagasTV? Cobra BO is a lot better. A lot better than NagasTV. So by all means, don't wait. If you can get a Cobra BO, get a Cobra BO. Hey, Kusnier, do you think the Emerald Ring is worth the price? Yes. Emerald Ring is great. It's just like the Alicorn Ring for a Paladin or Spirit Phone for the EK. Yeah, they're expensive, but they very much were. Falcon Side better than level 200 Nunchaku with 3 imbue slots? I wouldn't bother getting Falcon Side. Just use the Destruction. You're not going to be using Physical almost anywhere anyway. But yeah, for the Winter Court, as 520 RP, you would use Mutated Skin Armor for the Physical Resist or Embrace of Nature for Ice Resist. Yeah, I would be using an armor with physical resist and imbue it with ice protection. So yes, I'd be using mutated skin armor with ice protection imbuement, or I'd be using the soul shell with ice protection imbuement. Those are your two options. Embrace of Nature is not best in slot unless you have it like tier 3 or something. But VOH is dependent on hitting as many targets as possible and suffer damage loss of the other spells. That's a very basic way of looking at it. I mean, you are still casting your spenders and Greater Flurry of Blows more often with Virtue of Harmony. So even if you're hitting one target, you are still benefiting from Virtue of Harmony damage scaling just because you're using those powerful spells more often. Yeah, but yes, generally speaking, obviously the fact that you're casting those big powerful spells more often, that does scale a bit better with more enemies. But the break point at which Harmony is better is likely a lot lower than you expect, right? It may be 4 or 5 monsters, which is most hunting grounds. For solo, single target hunting or bossing, I agree that Justice is still better. But even hunting like Grim Reapers, it's like, you know, you're hunting like, you're killing like 3, 4, 5 at a time. I still feel like Harmony's probably better there. Okay, let's have a look. So we have 39 hours and 23 minutes of stamina. Still bloody stamina. So yeah, tomorrow after SS, we log in, we look at the teaser, we go to Aslan Castle. How are we looking with the Inferno arcs? We still need like 4 hours. We're not going to go to Aslan for 4 hours tomorrow. Maybe 2 hours. Maybe 2 hours Aslan at the start of the stream tomorrow to progress this shit. Lion Claws or Inferno arc? Yeah, Lion Claws are good, but they're the more defensive option that you're going to do less damage with, but they're fine. All the energy weapons under 400 are fine. What is the rotation with VOH? It's the same rotation, just, yeah, minus the very last chain of chain penance that you would use in the Virtue of Justice. Depth Claws good? Yes, Depth Claws are good. These are such basic questions. Yes, Depth Claws are good. They're the best weapon between 135 and 250, except they're very hard to get, so. In fact, we maybe drop some on Nevia today. We're going to do 3 kills of Ancient Spawn of Morgafla today in about 2 hours. So there may be some Depth Claws dropping on Nevia. We shall see. Can you make a tier list of weapons? No. No. I'm not going to make a tier list of like the 2 weapons that you can have at each level range in each element. Malcry. We're a cheer of 100. Thank you. Thank you, Malcry. And hello. You're catching the tail end of the stream, though. I have to say, we've just finished a nice Naga hunt. I'm just getting ready to log off in a minute or two. I have a call with my kids in a few minutes. They're coming back tomorrow from the holiday. But we'll still be on tomorrow. They're back in the evening. I have a beaver just like that at home. Oh yes, you told me, didn't you? Very nice, isn't it? Did you do Annihilator yet? I have not. I have not bothered with any quests that I didn't have to. All the quests that I've done so far have been either for a reward, like Inquisition quest for the Blessers, or as part of an access to a place or a boss. I don't believe I've done like a single quest which has not been a goal for something. Can you make a tier list of runes for Monk? Yep, Avalanche and Jiv be best. Oh. Ah. No names. How old are the kids now? I still recall that one YouTube video where your son came to say hi as you were demonstrating. I think that video is Putrid Mummies on a Paladin. I think that's the video where my son came over and I was like, oh look, there's Mummy, and he was like, no, that's not Mummy. Yeah, they are. So my oldest son is 3.5, a little bit more. He's like 4 later on in the year, and my youngest son is just under 2. So he's gonna turn 2 like next month. So basically, the younger kid is 2, the older kid is like 3.5. 2 boys, and no, they do not play Tibia. We start turning the music off a little bit and see who we'll be able to raid in a minute. Yet. You'll be strong Russian when you grow up. Yes. Maybe. Although I don't think the wife would be too happy with that. You reckon kids gonna copy you and be into gaming? Are you killing account for them already? I mean, I expect they probably will be into gaming. Yeah, I mean, most boys these days, you know, when they're teenagers, are into gaming of some sorts, right? They're not all giga chads, giga nerds. like myself, into games like Tibia, but I expect them to be at least into games like, Fortnite or Fortnite equivalent, Call of Duty, FIFA, whatever. Which I'm looking forward to a lot because I think it'll be very, very fun to play with them and bond with them over stuff like that. I'm really, really looking forward to it. I don't really want them to be like, Giga Nerd gamers, never leaving the house, bag of Doritos and Mountain Dew next to them type of thing. That's not quite what I'd have in mind for them. But we'll see. They may have their own plans. How stable is the English banking system? Pretty stable. Everyone does gaming, yeah, exactly. Everyone does gaming. I feel like my wife will have a hard time coming to terms with that. My wife isn't super into gaming, and she's kind of always like, "Oh, I hope the kids don't grow up to be like you into the gaming and stuff." And I'm like, "Okay, but you have to keep in mind there's only so much you can do. If there's a 14-year-old boy who wants to play video games, like you cannot stop him. Like you won't be able to stop him, you know?" Yes, it's games or drugs. I think Psych, she was unaware of the gaming skills until after the conquering was concluded. I kept it hidden, kept it on the DL. You can't stop him, especially when dad is doing it. That's it. That's it, right? I'll have to like watch myself not to like game too much in front of them because they'll be like, "Oh, I want a game." We'll see. We'll see how it goes, of course. What was the one lady you rated? She has an emote where she drinks coffee while staring at you. It's probably K-Risa, right? I think she's the only lady I've rated in the past. Gaming opens other opportunities like interest in computers coding. I think that's kind of optimistic. I'm not sure. I I get it. I understand. I don't think that maybe was true 20 years ago when gaming came with necessity to tinker with computers somewhat to get the games to work. I think everything is so plug and play now that gaming now doesn't necessarily lead to interest into like coding and computers, to be honest. Gotta hide in the basement like Stroiner. Maybe we'll have to. Maybe we'll have to. You couldn't pay me enough to show this shitty game to my kids. Complete and utter waste of time. Never ending game. Uh, True. Painful but true. Hey Kusnier, if you're a brand new player to the game and choose to play Monk, what would you do with 750 TC? Training weapons, sell for gold, anything else? So I would definitely sell the TCs for gold initially. Like, unless you're playing on a super new server, it's cheaper to buy the training weapons with gold anyway from the NPC. And yeah, I would probably ensure that I have a very good set to start with. But your best in slot set is probably only going to cost you like 100 Tibi coins or so, and then the rest I would invest into training weapons. Yeah. Stayed at Lava Locus was for 63 levels. Oh dear. All right. Who's streaming? Mazarin. And that's it from my friend. Digyo Gaming is also streaming. I don't know him that well. Guess we'll go to Mazarin. Guess we'll go to Mazarin. Yeah, we'll go to Mazarin. So, yeah, just a summary. Again, thank you everybody for being here. As always, next stream tomorrow, server save time. We'll be waiting for the teaser, which we're expecting tomorrow. Probably then gonna go sort my Azalon. One more day until my family gets back. So yes, next week ish, probably way fewer streams, if any at all, as I'll be busy with family duties and such. So yeah, thanks for being here. Let's raid Mazarin, say hello to him. You've seen what the best monk in the game can do. Now why don't you watch what the best paladin in game can do? And see you tomorrow. Bye bye.